Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we are doing a deep dive into a life that feels almost defined by what was forced onto him, rather than the choices he might have wanted to make.
Exactly. We're talking about someone who actively tried to be the opposite of these, legendary figures he came from.
Right.
But somehow ended up facing maybe even more tragedy, more personal sacrifice than any of them. It's quite the story.
What's fascinating here, I think, is we can really trace this chronologically. We're looking at the life of King Anduin Wrynn.
From this, idealistic kid who just wanted to serve the light
Yeah.
to this incredibly hardened, traumatized man who eventually just walks away from the throne.
It's not really a story about rising to power, is it? It feels more like a story about pressure. Just constant crushing expectation and how innocence gets worn away.
That's a great way to put it.
So our mission today is to follow that whole journey. Anduin Wrynn, King of Stormwind, former High King of the Alliance. We're going to track those moments where his, deeply held belief in peace just smashes headfirst into the brutal reality of this world that's always at war.
It's quite a journey.
Get ready, because it starts with sunshine, quite literally, but it ends up in some pretty deep shadows.
So Anduin's birth itself, it happened quite a while after the Second War when things were sort of looking up. It was a moment of hope.
Right. He's born the heir to Stormwind. And the name itself, Anduin Wrynn. That's heavy.
Oh, incredibly heavy. You've got Anduin Lothar, the big war hero, and King Lane, his grandfather. That's a massive legacy to inherit from day one.
And straight away, people noticed he was different, especially compared to his dad, Varian.
Yeah.
Varian was already this, fierce warrior type. But Anduin, he took after his mother, Queen Wrynn. Gentle, kind, golden hair.
Which earned him that nickname, right? The Boy of Sunshine.
Yeah, the Boy of Sunshine. And it's almost prophetic, isn't it? Sets up that core tension immediately.
Totally. He represented that hope, that kindness, really reflecting his mother's empathy. But that hope gets snuffed out way too early. Tragically early.
You're talking about Tiffin's death.
Yeah. An event that really fundamentally reshaped Stormwind's politics and, frankly, Varian's whole approach afterwards.
And the irony of it is just staggering. This wasn't some battlefield death.
No, not at all.
It came from internal politics, instability, corruption.
Yeah.
The exact kind of stuff that Anduin ends up fighting his whole life.
Absolutely. You had Stormwind just finishing this huge, expensive rebuild after the war.
Right.
But the Stonemasons Guild, the guys who actually did the rebuild, they weren't getting paid. And it wasn't just an oversight. It was deliberate corruption within the court keeping the money back.
Which naturally led to unrest, riots even.
Exactly. Violent riots. And Tiffin, she wasn't hiding away.
So
She was out there trying to mediate, trying to advocate for the workers, pleading for calm. And then she's hit by a stray stone thrown in the chaos. Killed. Just like that.
killed by the very people she was trying to help.
Yeah. I mean, think about the impact that has on a kid. Your mother, the symbol of kindness, struck down by the people she's championing. It's a brutal lesson about good intentions in a messed up system.
And Varian's reaction, predictable, maybe, but immediate and brutal.
Oh, totally visceral. Ordered a cavalry charge on the rioters, just crushed them.
Which forced the survivors to flee, right? They scattered.
They scattered, and that group, those unpaid, now hunted stonemasons, they become the core of the Defias Brotherhood.
Turning a labor dispute into this ongoing terrorist threat against Stormwind.
Exactly. So Tiffin's death and Varian's reaction to it just deepened the wound, politically and personally. It set a cycle in motion.
And the void she left just got bigger, didn't it? Because then Varian himself disappears.
Right. He was on his way to a peace summit with the Horde, a summit, interestingly, that young Anduin had actually encouraged him to go to. Even then, you see that diplomatic leaning.
Already pushing for peace. But Varian vanishes.
Vanishes. The throne's empty. And suddenly the crown lands on this kid. He's barely 10 years old.
10? Wow. So he's king, but not really.
Not really, no. High Lord Bolvar Fourdragon steps in as regent. A really solid, loyal guy. He becomes the father figure, the guide that Varian couldn't be at that moment.
But the whole situation was already compromised, wasn't it? Because someone was pulling strings behind the scenes.
Deeply compromised. The court had this poison in it. Lady Katrana Prester, one of Varian's advisors who stayed on.
Anduin wouldn't have known, but we know.
We know. She was Onyxia, the Black Dragon. daughter of Deathwing.
Playing the long game.
Oh, the longest game. This wasn't just human plotting. This was ancient cosmic evil in disguise. She'd orchestrated the financial mess with the stonemasons. She likely fueled the riot that killed Tiffin. And she was definitely involved in Varian vanishing.
All to destabilize Stormwind.
Completely. Her and her brother, Nefarian, keep the money tight, spark riots, get the real king out of the way.
So she could manipulate the child king.
Exactly. Drain the treasury with fake ransoms, weaken the kingdom, basically take control from the inside out.
And she's sitting there, this trusted advisor, while the kingdom crumbles around this 10-year-old boy.
It's an incredible feat of manipulation, just systematically dismantling everything right under everyone's noses.
So this dark period, this interregnum, it finally ends when Varian comes back. But even his return is fishy.
Very fishy. The official story was this huge ransom was paid, which conveniently just lined Onyxia's pockets even more and bled Stormwind dry.
And the Varian who came back wasn't right.
Not at all. And Anduin, even as a kid, he knew it. He sensed it immediately. This new Varian was, well, how was he described? Vain, arrogant.
Easily manipulated, terrible with money.
And way too loyal to Katrana Prester, suspiciously loyal.
Anduin apparently hated this version of his father.
Despised him, begged him to, focus on the people suffering, stop the shady stuff, but this King Varian just brushed him off.
It's like the roles are reversed. The kid trying to guide the reckless adult.
And Anduin was right. Because this wasn't the whole Varian. This was the secret of the Sundering.
Ah, right. The kidnapping wasn't just a kidnapping. There was magic involved. Botched magic.
Exactly. It literally split Varian body and soul into two separate people.
So the guy on the throne in Stormwind, he was the weaker half. The part Onyxia could control.
Precisely. Lacked all the ferocity, the noble spirit. He was the perfect puppet.
Meanwhile, the other half.
The noble warrior half ended up in Kalimdor with amnesia. Became Logosh, the gladiator. Fierce, uncontrollable.
So Anduin's trapped. He wants his dad back, but he's got this imposter, basically, being manipulated by the dragon who caused all the problems in the first place.
An awful situation for a child.
How did it finally resolve? Logosh eventually made his way back.
He did. He returned to Stormwind, exposed Onyxia, and she, in a total rage, grabs Anduin, kidnaps him, takes him to her lair.
Trying to lure both Varians to their deaths.
Exactly, which forces the two halves to work together to save their son.
And the magic. It backfired on her.
Massively. She throws this killing curse. The weaker Varian jumps in front of Logosh to shield him.
Sacrificing himself.
But because the two halves, the two pieces of the same soul, were so close, the magic didn't kill. It merged them. Slammed them back together into the complete King Varian Wrynn.
Forging the complete king and his sword, Charlemagne too, right? That came from this.
That's right. The sword itself formed from the merging. Two blades becoming one. A perfect symbol for the king. He became part noble, part fierce warrior.
So Anduin gets his father back, whole, but different.
Very different. This Varian was hardened, warlike, shaped by those years as Logosh. Exactly what Stormwind probably needed then, but...
But not what Anduin, the peace-loving son, maybe wanted.
Exactly. The tension is still there, just in a new form. And this is where Anduin really starts carving out his own identity, isn't it?
Yeah, he consciously goes the other way. Peace, reconciliation. Where Varian sees conflict, Anduin sees a chance for diplomacy.
And Varian gets frustrated by this. He sees it as weakness, maybe. Lack of martial spirit in his heir.
Which leads to him sending Anduin away to Ironforge.
Yeah. The idea is, send him to the dwarves. They'll put some iron into him, make him a warrior.
Right. Learn from the dwarven martial traditions.
That's not what happened at all.
It backfired.
Completely. Instead of finding a fighting mentor, Anduin discovered the dwarves' deep faith in the light, their spiritual side.
Ah, so that's where his path truly solidifies.
Absolutely. He starts studying to be a priest. He realizes his compassion, his empathy. That's not a weakness, that's his strength.
He defines himself in opposition, finds his own power source. Not martial prowess, but spiritual conviction.
Precisely. His identity is now distinct. It's about the light, about preserving life.
Okay, so he's found his calling as a priest in training in Ironforge. But things don't stay peaceful for long, right? The cataclysm hits.
Yeah, the world literally starts tearing itself apart. Massive earthquakes are shaking Ironforge to its foundations. The whole dwarven kingdom is at risk.
And King Magni Bronzebeard, he does something drastic.
He does, and Anduin witnesses it. Magni tries this ancient earthen ritual, trying to merge with the Earth to stabilize it, save his people.
That it goes wrong.
Horribly wrong. He doesn't merge, he petrifies, turns into this diamond statue, inert.
Leaving a massive power vacuum, instant chaos.
Total chaos. Ironforge is split between the three dwarven clans, and Moira Thoresen, Magni's estranged daughter and leader of the Dark Iron Dwarves, she sees her chance.
He takes over.
By force. Claims the throne for her son, who technically has a claim, and to make sure nobody interferes.
She takes Anduin hostage.
Exactly. The Prince of Stormwind. It's a huge international incident. She's using the Alliance heir as leverage.
Okay, so Varian hears about this, the Gladiator King. What happens?
Varian goes full Lagash, leads a strike force, breaks into Ironforge, ready to kill Moira, take control, consequences be damned, he's blinded by rage.
Ready to shatter the Dwarven Alliance completely.
Totally. But then Anduin steps in, still a hostage.
What does he do?
He pleads with his father, uses logic, not just emotion. Argues that killing Moira will just start a blood feud, destroy the dwarves, shatter the alliance. It's incredibly strategic thinking for someone so young, under that pressure.
And he points out, Moira technically does have a claim, right? It's complicated, but legitimate.
He does. He forces Varian to see the bigger picture, to choose restraint over vengeance.
And Varian?
Listens.
He listens.
Yeah.
He stands down, walks away, which is massive growth for Varian.
And the result.
The result, negotiated pretty much because of Anduin's intervention, is the Council of Three Hammers. Bronzebeard, Wildhammer, Dark Iron ruling together.
Stabilizing the dwarves, saving the alliance. A huge diplomatic win credited to Anduin.
Absolutely. It cements his reputation as this skilled diplomat, even as a teenager.
So after this intense experience, he seeks out deeper spiritual guidance.
He does. He feels this pull towards the light more strongly than ever. He goes to seek out Prophet Velen.
Leader of the Draenei. Ancient, wise. Basically the opposite of Varian in many ways. Totally. Quiet, spiritual, thousands of years of wisdom. Anduin studies with him, spends time on the Exodar, near the Naru.
The beings of pure light.
Yeah. And one Naru in particular, Oros, visits Anduin in dreams and implants this core belief.
Each life was a universe to protect.
Exactly. That becomes his guiding principle. It's not just pacifism as a preference. It's a deep, spiritual, almost cosmic necessity for him. The absolute sanctity of life.
But that idealism gets tested almost immediately, doesn't it? Back in the real world.
Brutally tested. The Horde under Garrosh Hellscream drops the mana bomb on Theramore.
Wipes it off the map. Utter devastation.
And this shatters people, especially Jaina Proudmoore. She was always the advocate for peace, the bridge between factions.
But Theramore breaks her.
Completely. She becomes consumed by vengeance, demands the orcs be wiped out. Total eradication.
Anduin.
Anduin stands against her, argues against that path, even though Jaina was like family to him. He sees how pain can twist even the best people. He holds on to that principle, protect all life, even the lives of enemies.
Even when it's incredibly difficult.
Especially then, because that Naru principle was absolute for him.
Okay, so after Theramore, Anduin's journey takes another unexpected turn. He ends up shipwrecked.
Yeah, his diplomatic ship gets lost in the mists around Pandaria, this newly rediscovered continent, stranded.
But he doesn't just sit around waiting for rescue.
Not at all. He dives right in, starts studying Pandaren culture, their philosophy of balance, their history. He sees it as a chance to really live out his ideals away from Stormwind politics.
And he's pretty determined to stay, right?
Yeah.
Even when his own people try to bring him back.
Oh, yeah. SI.7 agents track him down, tell him he needs to come home.
And he just goes.
Nope. He uses his priest powers, mind controls them, makes them forget they found him so he can slip away and continue his studies.
Whoa. Okay, so his pacifism isn't passive. He can be pretty forceful when he needs to be to follow his own path.
Definitely. He has this quiet intensity, and Pandaria teaches him something crucial, something terrifying. He learns about the Shah.
The manifestations of negative emotion. Leftover darkness from an old god.
Exactly. Your Sharj's dark echoes. They feed on anger, hatred, fear, doubt. All the stuff that comes with war.
So the Horde Alliance conflict. It's literally feeding these things. Poisoning the land.
That's what Anduin realizes. Every battle, every skirmish, every angry shout between Varian and Garrosh is physically empowering this ancient evil. It validates everything he's believed. The conflict isn't just political, it's making the world worse on a fundamental level.
Did he try to tell Varian this?
He did. Tried to explain that Varian's love for his people driving him to fight looked exactly like the hatred fueling the Shah. But Varian, Well, it's a very abstract idea compared to needing to defend your borders, you know.
Hard for a warrior king to grasp.
Very. And this whole conflict, this philosophical clash, it comes to a head with the divine bell.
Garrosh wants to use it.
Yeah, this ancient artifact. Garrosh plans to use it to weaponize the Shah, unleash pure chaos on the Alliance.
So Anduin tries diplomacy first, confronts Garrosh.
One last time. Pleads with him to stop. Garrosh, of course, refuses.
So Anduin has to act.
He does. He realizes inaction means letting the world burn. So in this incredibly decisive moment, he takes the harmonic mallet,
And strikes the bell himself.
strikes the bell but twists the energy, turns Garrosh's chaos into harmony, thwarts the whole plan.
But Garrosh doesn't just let that slide.
No, he's furious. His ultimate weapon is gone. He retaliates instantly, grabs the massive bell,
And just drops it on Anduin.
crushes him with it, believes he killed him, shatters his legs, his body, just pure brutal rage.
Trying to break Varian by killing his son.
Exactly, but Anduin survives. Barely. He ends up recovering in the secluded place, the Tavern in the Mists.
And this is where he meets Raytheon.
Yeah, the young black dragon. Son of Deathwing. Arrogant, brilliant, ruthless, but also claiming he wants to protect Azeroth.
An unlikely friendship.
Very unlikely. They spend ages talking, debating politics, morality, how to save the world, the pacifist prince and the utterly pragmatic dragon prince.
Did Anduin trust him?
He considered him a friend, definitely. They had a real bond, but he always had that suspicion, that nagging doubt about a black dragon's true motives. You can't just forget who his father was.
Right.
Yeah.
But that relationship must have shaped him too. Exposed him to that really cold, calculating way of thinking.
For sure. Even if he rejected the methods, understanding that mindset was probably crucial for what came next.
And we see Anduin's influence pay off later, right, at the Siege of Orgrimmar.
Absolutely. Varian defeats Garrosh. He's standing there with the defeated Horde leaders. He could dismantle the Horde right then and there.
He has the power, the justification.
Everything. But Anduin is right beside him, pleading for restraint, for peace, for looking at the long term.
And Varian,
Yeah.
he actually listens this time.
He listens. He chooses restraint. Shows he finally truly learned that lesson from his son. It's a powerful moment.
That moment at Orgrimmar where Varian listens, it feels like a shift. Varian steps up as the protector, maybe shielding Anduin so he can stay idealistic.
It does feel like that. But that protection had an expiry date, didn't it? The Burning Legion returns. The Battle of the Broken Shore.
And Varian, he doesn't make it back.
No. He sacrifices himself. A truly heroic, devastating end. His final message back is just his broken sword in the ground, signaling the loss.
And Anduin, waiting anxiously back in Stormwind.
Instantly becomes High King. The weight of everything lands on his shoulders in that moment. No more prince. He's the leader of the entire alliance.
And it crushes him.
Utterly shatters his confidence. He feels unprepared, unworthy, guilty he wasn't there. He apparently stops eating, sleeping, just adrift.
Lost. The duties feel hollow.
Completely hollow, and the grief is just immense, deepened by something specific that gets returned to him.
His father's compass.
Yeah, a compass Anduin had actually custom made for Varian years ago, before Pandaria.
And it comes back broken.
Shattered glass, bent needle, waterlogged, a physical symbol of Varian's end, but also, like, his own moral compass was broken too. His guide was gone.
So he feels lost, disconnected from his own people.
Desperately. Which leads him to do something pretty unusual. He uses a powerful disguise.
So powerful even his guards don't recognize him.
Exactly. And he just walks the streets of Stormwind incognito, trying to figure out what his people are actually feeling. Hope. Fear.
And what does he hear?
He hears kids playing kings.
Oh no.
Yeah. One kid says, let's be Anduin, and the other one immediately shoots it down. Nah, be Varian. He was way tougher. My dad says we need a tough king now.
Ouch. That must have cut deep. Hearing that directly.
Confirmed all his worst fears, right? That he wasn't the king they needed, that he was the priest king when they wanted the warrior his father had become, that he'd just hidden while Varian died.
And this insecurity gets reinforced when he overhears his own advisors.
Yeah. Kin Greymane, the old warrior, voicing concerns, saying Anduin is untested, hasn't seen the real price of war.
But Velen defends him, sees his potential.
Velen has faith, talks about visions of this armored warrior of light. But Gen basically says faith isn't enough. A king needs to know the cost, feel the weight of sending people to die.
And that's what convinces Anduin. He needs to understand that cost.
It solidifies it. He ignores everyone telling him to stay safe and travels to the Broken Shore. He has to see the place where his father died.
What does he find there?
Just Horror. Unimaginable horror. Ground paved with bones. Tormented spirits everywhere. It's a nightmare landscape.
And that makes him realize something about his father.
Yeah. He realizes Varian wasn't keeping him safe for political reasons. It was love, trying to shield him from this kind of trauma, the kind Varian himself knew after Tiffin died.
He sees the fell reaver that killed Varian.
He does. He stares at the wreckage, and in that moment, surrounded by death, understanding the sacrifice, the weight of his lineage truly hits him.
The Wrynn legacy.
Yeah. King Baron slain by trolls, King Lane assassinated, his father Varian killed by the Legion. Kings of Stormwind don't die peacefully, they sacrifice themselves.
And he realizes that's his destiny too.
He picks up Charlemagne, his father's sword, and he understands he can't just be the priest. He has to be the warrior king of Elendsaw. The weight of the crown settles. He has to do
What a king must do.
exactly the acceptance, the tragic inheritance.
So Anduin accepts the mantle. He's the High King in his father's armor, ready to lead. But he's immediately thrown into another war, right? To the Fourth War.
Right into the fire. A war fueled by Azerite, this incredibly powerful and destructive substance.
And this war really pushes him. Tests those ideals he just recommitted to.
Absolutely. The sources make it clear his decisions, even the well-intentioned ones, had terrible consequences. He tried to minimize suffering, but war, it doesn't work like that. His strategies indirectly contributed to disasters like the burning of Teldrassil.
So he's learning that brutal lesson Jen talked about, that even necessary choices have a horrific cost.
He's learning it firsthand, making calls that lead to immense death, which has to be tearing him apart inside, given his core belief about the sanctity of life.
And then Sylvanas Windrunner just twists the knife.
Oh, brutally and cynically. Anduin arranges this peace summit, a really hopeful idea. Reunite human and forsaken families separated by the Lich King. Trying to build bridges.
Pure Anduin move, believing in the good, the possibility of connection.
Exactly. But Sylvanas uses it as a trap, turns the reunion into a massacre. She specifically targets the Forsaken who want to reconnect with the living.
Proving her loyalty is to death, not life.
Utterly. And then she blames the whole thing on the Alliance to rally the Horde. It's masterful, horrific manipulation.
And for Anduin, that's the breaking point with her.
That's it. He realizes peace is impossible while she leads. His idealism is just completely crushed by her cynicism. There's no negotiating with that.
So this changes him. It makes him more resolute.
It galvanizes him. He goes into the battle for Lordaeron with this righteous fury. He's comfortable in the armor now. He knows he's fighting pure evil.
And during that battle, he captures Saurfang, Farak Saurfang.
Yeah, the old orc warrior. A legend in the Horde, but disillusioned with Sylvanas. He's basically looking for an honorable death fighting the Alliance.
But Anduin doesn't give it to him.
No. Anduin sees the honor still in Saurfang, beneath the despair. He refuses him that warrior's death and takes him prisoner instead.
Which leads to, well, a pretty audacious plan.
Hugely audacious. Anduin decides he needs Saurfang, needs him to lead a rebellion within the Horde against Sylvanas.
So he forms this secret alliance with an orc veteran across decades of hatred.
Breaks through all that propaganda and history by appealing directly to Saurfang's code of honor. It's an incredible risk.
How does he get him out?
He has SI.7, Matthias Shaw orchestrate the whole thing. Fakes the escape. Changes guard patrols, make sure they're asleep. It's a massive deception.
All to inspire his enemy's honorable soldier to turn against his own war chief.
And it works. Saurfang escapes, leads the rebellion, and ultimately forces Sylvanas' hand.
Saurfang's final duel, Agora.
Yeah. He sacrifices himself, but in doing so, exposes Sylvanas' true nature, her selfishness, her nihilism to the entire Horde.
And Anduin's response to Saurfang's death.
He carries Saurfang's body into Orgrimmar himself, a human king carrying an orc warrior, a hugely powerful symbol of shared honor, transcending the factions.
But this relentless pursuit of justice, the war, it starts to take a toll on Anduin too, doesn't it? A darker edge starts showing.
It does. The pressure is immense. There are reports, hints, that Alliance forces started using questionable methods, void energy to torture orcs for information on Sylvanas.
Things Anduin normally wouldn't stand for.
Exactly, but the desperation to stop Sylvanas was so intense, and there's even a moment in one account where Anduin himself feels this flicker of void energy inside him where the light should be.
Wow, so he's getting dangerously close to becoming the thing he's fighting, compromising his core self.
Losing himself to the pressure. The idealism is eroding under the weight of the ground and the brutality of the war. He's becoming hardened in ways that are maybe more worrying than just wearing armor. But the real breaking point, the thing that truly shatters him, comes next. Sylvanas, now fully allied with the jailer in the Shadowlands, she gets her revenge.
She kidnaps him.
Kidnaps him, rips him away from Lion's Rest, his father's grave, drags him into the afterlife, into the Maw. She's obsessed with breaking him, proving his hope is meaningless.
Does she try to, convert him, turn him to her side?
Initially, maybe. She sees something of her own lost idealism in him, perhaps. Wants him to choose her path. But the jailer, Zoval, he doesn't care about choice.
He just takes control.
He just dominates him, overwhelms his will with raw Maw magic, forces him into servitude.
And the sword, Charlemagne.
Zoval reforges it, twists his father's sword, the symbol of Varian's reunited spirit, into a Morn blade.
Like Frostmourne, powered by Arthas.
Exactly. Powered by a fragment of Arthas Menethal's soul, the ultimate violation. Anduin is forced to wield the echo of the Lich King, the villain who destroyed so much of his world. He becomes the jailer's puppet.
The psychological horror of that.
It's almost unimaginable.
Yeah.
Because he's conscious inside, trapped, watching his own hands commit atrocities, killing allies, friends, feeling powerless.
Just watching a nightmare unfold through his own eyes.
But it's worse than that. This is the part that truly breaks him. He doesn't just feel the horror. He feels the power of the domination magic, the cold thrill of it.
He liked it.
A tiny, buried part of him did, the part worn down by years of responsibility, the part that flirted with the void. It felt the release, the freedom from moral burden, the sheer, effortless power. And he was horrified by that feeling.
That realization that a part of him, the boy of sunshine, could enjoy that darkness. That's what destroyed his self-image.
Completely shattered it. How can you trust yourself after that? How can you claim to stand for the light when you know that darkness felt appealing, even for a moment?
So after he's finally freed, after the jailer is defeated, how does he cope?
He encounters Sylvanas one last time, and despite everything she did to him, everything he endured because of her, he chooses empathy.
Empathy for her.
Yeah. He sees past the Banshee Queen, sees the wounded person underneath, understands the pain of being dominated, the generations of trauma she carries. It's an incredible moment of grace, even in his own broken state.
But he can't go back, can he? Not to being king.
He can't. He's too afraid. Afraid of that darkness he saw in himself. Afraid of the power he tasted. So he chooses exile.
Walks away from the throne. From his friends. Everything.
Turns his back on all of it, his duty, his friends like Jen and Turlion who step up. He just leaves. Too scared of what he might become or what he already is.
Just disappears. Living quietly.
Chooses solitude. Rumored to be wandering, staying in taverns, just existing. Trying to process, maybe. Far from the crown that almost cost him his soul.
But that's not the end of his story, is it? There's a hint of something else.
No, it seems his journey isn't over. Even in exile, something is reaching out to him. A voice. From the planet itself, from Azeroth's world's soul.
Calling to him, pulling him towards whatever comes next.
Seems like it. Driving him forward, whether he wants it or not, forcing him back onto the stage. Hashtag tag at outro.
So when you look back at Anduin's entire life, it's just steeped in this tragic irony, isn't it?
Absolutely. He spends his whole life trying not to be his warrior father, focusing on peace.
And ends up enduring more violence, more trauma, more personal sacrifice than maybe any Wrynn king before him.
Born into corruption, finds peace in the light, gets forced into armor anyway, has to make impossible choices, and then suffers a fate, that domination that's arguably worse than death.
It makes you think about expectations, you know? The pressure we all feel from family, from work, from ourselves. His was just a cosmic scale.
Yeah, and that trauma resonates, that feeling of being so crushed by responsibility that maybe, just maybe, that feeling of effortless, dark power offered a horrifying kind of relief. It's uncomfortable to think about.
So the big question now is, can he heal? Can the boy of sunshine truly come back after seeing that shadow within himself, after feeling it respond to that awful power?
Can the light he dedicated his life to overcome the stain of the Mornblade? Can Velen's vision of the Light Warrior still come true after experiencing that?
So what does this all mean? Is he going to rise again, embrace that warrior destiny Velen saw, maybe stronger for having faced the darkness?
Or is he fundamentally changed? Is his path now always going to be tinged by that shadow, forever chasing a peace he might not fully believe he deserves anymore?
That's definitely a question worth exploring as his story continues. Where does he go from here?
Indeed. We'll all be watching. Did the crown crush the man or forge him into something else?
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the really complex and often heartbreaking story of King Anduin Wrynn. We'll see you next time.